What is going on, everybody?
Hello!
It is Biggs Martyrs here, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Investigations. When we left off, things have gone horribly wrong. There's death and destruction everywhere,
There's
and
a
then
squirrel on the loose.
there's a squirrel on the loose apparently that has done some horrible shit. But at least we got
or was it the plant?
Yes, the plant joined in on it apparently, and how was I so naive to not see that? But I've been enlightened thanks to the comments.
Yeah, the true culprit.
The true culprit
was the plant all along.
They worked together on this one. Anyways, we're gonna go touch the body now. So I'm gonna go take a look at this guy's.
Is Charlie the descendant of a criminal? Find out next.
I'm gonna take a look at this man's ear. Mr. Faraday. How ironic it is for him to lose his life in a courthouse.
For a second, I thought it said iconic. How iconic it is.
How iconic.
He's a freaking
why did it have
icon.
to be like this? I don't know what to say. I can't believe this happened while I was on watch, pal. Rather than beating yourself up, you should spend your time continuing the investigation.
Oh.
Didn't you become a detective in order to solve crimes? Yeah. Then get back to work. Find out the cause of his murder. But right, I'm on it, pal. Good job. Let's see. Anything else for his body? Now, how about this guy? I'm gonna look at your ear. First, he killed a Cadopian embassy staff member. Then he was murdered himself. This guy wasn't exactly an angel, you know. No? What makes you say that? Well, he's been hauled into the precinct several times with theft and assault, pal. So yeah, he's definitely a type to have committed a murder or two.
Wait, which one?
The bottom guy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Mr. Rel. No,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, Rel. That's right.
Mackerel.
Mackerel. That's right. Well, he did admit to killing Mr.
Deedman.
Deadman, or Deedman, however you're supposed to say it, because they're presenting it in a more German way, so it'd technically be Deed, but Deadman.
Deedman.
Hey, good point, pal. I knew my detective's intuition was telling me something. Detective's intuition?
Oh, boy.
Really? Yep. Do you know about it? It's a special feeling that all detectives... We don't have time for this conversation right now. Let's return to the investigation. Okay, pal. Alright, this knife, it has blood on it. As you would expect.
Yeah.
Looks like Mr. L died with the knife in his hand. There's some blood stuck on it. Then he must have used this as a weapon. Yep, no doubt about it. Was Mr. Faraday carrying this on his personage? Did he bring this as a piece of evidence for the trial? Or did he bring it with a very different intention in mind? I should jot some notes down about it. Okay, we
Too
got
bad
the
we
knife.
can't, ask him.
Yeah.
It's like,
Hey, what do you know
hey,
about
buddy,
the knife?
why'd you bring this knife?
Oh, wait. Whoops.
It's okay. Take your time.
I'll just ask you later. I'm sure I'll find someone who can communicate with ghosts somehow. Right. Looks like Mr. Faraday died while holding the gun in his right hand. So we shot Mr. Roll and then fell on top of him while still gripping onto the gun? I guess that does seem kind of strange, huh? I mean, why would Mr. Faraday know how to fire a gun? It's not exactly rocket science. Oh wait, it's not exactly rocket science. Even I know how to pull a trigger. Although I don't ever need to use one. I hope I never fire a gun either, pal.
You will be accused of using one in the future, though, Edgeworth.
Yeah. But it sure does look cool to hold a gun in your hands. Appears that the police's screening procedures need a thorough review. Anyway, I should jot down some notes about the handgun in Mr. Faraday's hand.
Poor gumshoe.
And then there's this blood over here. Why are there plastic bags scattered all around?
They were meal planning.
Those bags have for keeping evidence safe, pal. I know that much, detective. You're sure good at this stuff, aren't you, pal?
Oh my god.
Normally be happy when someone compliments me, but when it's this guy...
Oh, come on!
Anyways, could these plastic bags be evidence of a fight between the two men? I'm trying to figure out why that one bag has that, blood splatter on it, and then there's no other blood on the ground. Speaking of which, there's also no blood on either of them. I mean, I don't know if they've rolled anyone over to confirm any stab wounds or anything, but there's no blood anywhere.
I don't think they've been touched at all, considering the line's still around.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah, it's just... Why is there no blood? We mentioned that last time. Why is there no blood? Because they're never the scene of the crime. So are these guys just carried in here by the squirrels? All right.
Oh, no.
So I don't think there's anything else.
You can't look at the bag, the bloody bag?
That's what I looked at.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there's still something else here because this is talking about suspicious nook and cranny. So I need to look around. His bandana? No. Is it
The-
this hand? Is he holding something? He might be holding something. His hand is all black down here, see? I wonder what it could be. If you look closely, this blotching pattern resembles an ink stain.
Oh, he's not holding something.
No, he's just got ink on his hand.
Huh.
Interesting. But why? An ink stain? Yes, I usually get ink on my own hand when I use my feather pen. A feather pen? I've never seen one before. Sure you ain't just making it up, pal.
Feather pens are awesome.
Yeah, they are. I don't know why. Instead of it, I almost read it as shit. So it's like, yeah, sure you're making shit up, pal. Trust me.
Oh my god.
Not today. Mr. Rel's cause of death was from being shot, correct?
Oh.
That's what we think, but it's hard to tell with him lying face down.
Yeah, they haven't got to do autopsies.
Death is bad enough, but it's truly lamentable that someone would try and hide the truth. Are you sure they were trying to hide something? I can't confirm Mr. Rel's cause of death with his body positioned like that.
Oh boy.
Detective Bad,
Oh, here it comes.
welcome back. And I'd like to examine the bodies in further detail if possible.
What's this? You're not able to form a theory without them the way they are?
I believe an examination of the bodies is vital to finding the perfect evidence, don't you?
I suppose you do have a point. Well, hurry up and get on with it.
Abby. You can take this one. I've already got. You got?
Yeah,
Just anything. Doesn't matter. Just
yes,
roll.
sir. We've taken enough photos of the scene, sir.
There you go. And there you have it. Do you not approve? No, of course not. What? Investigation of a crime scene is the work of a detective, so don't you touch a thing. Hey, big fella, turn over the bodies for me, will you? Yeah. Okay. Please forgive me, Mr. Faraday, sir. Gumshoe, don't you get emotionally involved. Oh, yeah, remember you're a detective. Oh, yeah. Yes, understood, sir. Oh, my God.
It's so funny.
It's the best. Okay, so
Whoa.
here we go. All right, every suspicious looking nook and cranny. Okay, so we can confirm, stab, a potential shot. Let's go ahead and start from the top. So we got the gunshot. Shot in the heart.
And you're too bad.
That's the one. You give crime a bad name. It takes some guts to fire a gun in a courthouse. I mean, I've been a detective for a whole week and I still haven't fired a single round yet. There are any burn marks on his clothes, that must mean... Wait, burn marks? Round grows very hot as it is discharged from a firearm.
Oh boy, here
Therefore,
we go.
burn marks are usually left when a shot is fired from point blank range.
Yep.
Ergo, Mr. Rell must have been shot from at least a yard or two away. Updated. You sure you don't know a bunch of neat stuff here? You sure do know a bunch of each stuff for your age, pal. I can't speak right now, apparently. Apparently, this detective has as much common knowledge as your everyday marsupial.
Hey, don't bring kangaroos into this.
I'm gonna look at your face. First he killed a Dopian embassy staff member, then he was murdered himself.
Didn't you already say that?
This guy
Yeah.
wasn't exactly an angel, you know.
Yeah, they already said that.
Yeah, so yeah, he died. Good point. Intuition, yeah, investigation. All right. The knife? How about that? Looks like Mr. Faraday was stabbed with this knife that Mr. Rell is holding. Youch! What's wrong, detective? My stomach's starting to hurt from just thinking about being stabbed.
Oh,
Just keep your mind on the case, all right?
jeez.
All right. Now, number one, what's this thing? What's this?
What
thing?
is that? Yeah.
There's something in his breast pocket. It's a fountain pen. Well, there's that. Okay, we can combine that with the ink blotch on his hand. Hey, you know I've always kept a pencil behind my ear.
That's right, he does.
It's because Detective Bad is always telling me, you should always write your name on everything you own. Yes, somehow you do strike me as quite a forgetful individual.
But wouldn't you carry a pen then? Because you can't. Yeah, a pencil, you can't.
I'm sure he can
Right.
do. I don't know.
It's like, yeah, I'm gonna write my name on my jacket with a pencil.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at this thing.
He would try.
Yeah. There's a knife wound in his chest here, see? I wonder if the wound matches the knife Mr. Rell is holding. Oh, Abby.
Yes, sir. Verifying now, sir.
Make it quickly. From the look of things, one could deduce that the knife Mr. Rell is holding is what killed Mr. Faraday. Let's now try to understand how the two men died. First, Mr. Faraday took the gun and the knife out from today's trial evidence. Then he aimed the gun at Mr. Rell and fired. However, Mr. Rell managed to grab the knife and counter Mr. Faraday while being shot. Then the two men fell together where they stood. That was my theory in any case. Oh, what a crazy way to go, pal. Still, something about that explanation just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I know.
I believe I now have a firmer grasp on what happened here.
Firmly grasp it.
Firmly grasp it. So number one.
Wow, we got lots of stuffs.
Yeah, we do, but at least
Fountain
you
pen
know.
in pocket and the ink stain.
Yes.
Yeah.
You go ahead and talk about that while I drink some water because, oh boy, the macho voice is gonna tear my throat a new one.
Boing. Cool.
And a splotch on Mr. Faraday's hand. I wonder if it might be the ink from his fountain pen. Let's ask the lab guy.
Oh, Detective Gumshoe. I confirm that the substance on Mr. Faraday's hand is the ink from his fountain pen.
I see. Good work. You know, I've always wanted to say that, even if it was just one time in my life.
He's so adorable.
If Mr. Faraday wrote with his fountain pen in his left hand, I think it's fair to assume he was left-handed.
Yes.
It appears that Mr. Faraday's pen is very important to our case as well. Okay, if you say so, pal. That is important because the fact that the gun was in his right hand.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I might have to. Actually, I can't cross-examine it. I can't be like, combine this and this to form one thing. But maybe there's something else in the logic still that we need to look at. So let's see. The T7 plastic bag on the table are completely undisturbed. But those bags, that should be it, because those bags are strewn about with the ones on the table.
Yeah, but
really
then stuff on the
tidy.
table's fine. It doesn't make sense. Is your
Not
throat
at all.
okay?
We'll see.
You probably did too many Macho Man lines before actually recording.
Yes, I was talking as the Macho Man before I even hit the go button, because that's my warm-up, because it's too fun of a voice to do. Whoops. But,
I was also, encouraging
you
it.
were.
It was
There's
funny.
a very tidy pile of plastic bags on the table, and yet a portion of them wound up scattered on the floor as well. It's not likely that ones on the floor were knocked over during a struggle, in which case might there be another explanation as to how they got there. Another reason? I believe it's possible that the blood on the outside of the bag is related somehow. Please get that butt away from me, pal.
Yep, there he goes.
Second Gumshoe. Whose blood is on this bag? Hold on, let me ask the lab guy.
Or Labby is.
Yeah. Alright, please hurry.
Let me ask the lab guy.
Wait till you get a load of this, pal. It's Mr. Faraday's. Oh, and the technician said they didn't find anything else on her in the bag either. Huh. It appears this bag is a very important piece of evidence. Okay, if you say so. I'll leave it in your hands, pal. Plastic bag. Understood.
I mean, it's a bag with blood on it. Why would it not be important?
Alright, that appears to be we've done everything we can on this one. According to Gumshoe here, because he says, and I quote, I guess there's not much left to investigate, huh? They really did kill each other.
End quote.
End quote. No, we can't conclude that quite yet. There's still something I find very peculiar here. The theory that they simply killed one another is too simplistic in this case. In fact, there's actually a contradiction that shows there's another possibility. No way, pal, really? I suppose I'll just have to show you the conflict in this crime scene.
The conflict.
Alright, so we're going to deduce the gun in his right hand.
Yep.
This is the deduce button. And it's the fact that it's connected to. I just want to make sure I get the right one, so I want to look. Yes.
Eureka! Einstein!
Now we come face to face with the contradiction I spoke of, and it is this. Mr. Faraday used his left hand to write with his fountain pen. Ergo, he is left-handed. And yet the handgun is in his right hand. Don't you find it odd that the left-handed Mr. Faraday would hold a gun in his right hand? That, lady and gentlemen, is the great contradiction haunting this crime scene.
Lady, because French is...
Yeah. Hey, you're right, pal. That does seem kind of strange. But how could something like that happen? The facts add up to one conclusion and one alone. Someone else put the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand after he died. Someone else? Plastic bag scattered on the floor and a gun in the wrong hand? I sense the presence of a shadowy figure behind this case. A person of violent intent who is serious about keeping the truth from us.
Whoa. Bum, bum, bum. How many more pictures are you gonna take, dude?
All of them.
He's been taking...
You can never have enough pictures.
So many pictures.
Every minuscule change of angle could reveal something new. You never know.
What if he's zooming in and he's taking a picture like 2 inches by 2 inches in squares?
That'd be
it's just
amazing.
gonna make a mosaic.
That'd be great.
God, he's right up in his face.
Where's the autopsy report? Oh, yeah.
She's so small.
Huh?
It is probable that Mr. Rell survived for a short time after he was shot. However, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously from his stabbing. Interesting.
Interesting indeed.
She's so small. She's so precious. It looks like we now know everything we need to know about this case.
So let me...
Yep, see, look, even then she's doing the hand thing there, see?
Yeah. Well, I was going to look at the autopsy report to make sure what it said there, but I believe it said that Mr. Rell was able to survive for a little bit, but Mr. Faraday died instantly.
Huh.
Which is weird because... Actually, that creates a double weird because Mr. Rell is the one on the bottom when Mr. Faraday's on top.
Yeah, Mr. Rell's the one that supposedly, got shot. So you'd think he would die first,
Yeah.
Because someone who gets shot tends to, I would think, would die before someone who got stabbed.
I wanted to make sure that I read that correctly, but we don't have the autopsy report, of course, and our actual evidence yet, but we'll see if we get after this. Are you sure we know everything?
Of course, the incident began with Mr. Faraday attempting to get his revenge. The prosecutor went into a rage from being accused and tried to kill the defendant. But the defendant fought back and they ended up killing each other.
Curtsy.
It's all very clear and simple. There's absolutely no margin for doubt.
Debatable. Do you really believe that to be the truth?
Ha! Are you saying that just because I figured out the truth before you? That you don't want to believe it's true? It's alright if you disagree with my arguments and prove me wrong. Well, if there are any contradictions to be found, that is.
Don't worry, I will. Time to rebut.
Ooh.
Or argue, really.
Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous while Mr. Rell survived for a short time.
Yeah, we got that.
From this, it is obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. And Mr. Rell was on the brink of death, stole Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case.
It looks like you're holding a carrot. One of those really skinny carrots.
Yeah. Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous, therefore he must have attacked first. Proving that logic to be false is probably the fastest way to show her that she's wrong. In that case, I should first look at any holes in her theory. Alright. So we have Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous when Mr. Rell survived for a short time. That was confirmed by the autopsy report, so that is the correct one.
So cute. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Is it obvious? And Mr. Rell on the brink of death, so Mr. Faraday's knife and stabbed him. Those are the facts of this case. Okay, hang on. My brain's stuck right now at the moment, so I'm trying to go through this all. It's like trying to comprehend what it's going through. So, Mr. Faraday's death was instantaneous. As soon as it got glacked instantly. And Mr. Rell survived for a short time. From this, it's obvious that Mr. Faraday died after he shot Mr. Rell. Okay, so... But... Okay, so I'm gonna press this one, sure.
Yeah.
Just get some. So you believe that the dying Mr. Rel stole the knife from Mr. Faraday?
Mr. Rel became desperate as he did not want to die. Human beings can do amazing things when they are put to the test. So the two men struggled. And in the end, Mr. Rel was able to grab the knife and stab Mr. Faraday. The messy condition of this room is a testament to their struggle. Yes, my logic is perfectly sound.
Can you really say that it's perfect?
What are you insinuating?
Nothing. Alright, can't let you say slide without further inquiry. One must be clear and precise. So you could append that statement in your testimony.
Fine.
Did I press something I needed?
They struggled and Mr. Rel used the last of his strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday.
Mr. Faraday?
About this statement.
Mr. Rel used all of his remaining strength to take the knife and defend himself. One can easily see that they had a violent struggle. Of course, it's nothing compared to what my riding crop can do.
How does one compare the damage your crop can do with the state of this room?
One day I will get an actual whip and you will all see. Furthermore, all the plastic bags on the floor in this room were scattered there due to the fight. Is there anything else that I can explain for you?
No, that'll be fine. Alright, so Strong Mr. Ray's last was strength to counterattack Mr. Faraday. But Mr. Faraday was on top of him.
That's after...
That's gonna be my guess.
That's after they...
The point is that if Faraday died instantaneously and Rel fought back afterwards and was killed afterwards, then then the body should be the opposite way around. I'm pretty sure. Or I'm just it's something with this, because this is the new statement that we got.
What are you trying to say with this?
I'm saying this piece of evidence
Doesn't contradict with my testimony.
Okay, what the fuck?
Miles Edgeworth, just face it, I'm going to win a little competition.
Yeah, I have to calm down and do a better job of finding the flaw. My brain is still legitimately overwhelmed and cannot figure out what the hell.
Yeah, she's talking in riddles.
I mean, like
the way she worded it is hard to follow. Am I the only one that thinks that? But not so much the way she worded it, but like the whole situation.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that there's so many details going on here that I'm trying to keep track of in my tired ass brain at 2 in the morning that it's hard to.
And I just worked all day. Haha.
Okay,
Okay. Thank God I went through all these.
Didn't hear a sign of a struggle. Okay.
That'll be the answer for us. I didn't even think about that.
Oh, that was so much easier than I thought.
Yeah. I'm just glad I pressed the right statement and actually got us the testimony we needed.
Yeah. Otherwise, we'd still be here.
Yeah.
Jeez, your water bottle was so loud.
Yeah, that's a weak water bottle. All right. If the two men were fighting, their struggle would have surely caused quite a bit of noise.
You can't handle the strength of your grip.
Oh, I can't handle the strength. Okay. However, Detective Gumshoe testified that he heard absolutely nothing.
Ha! You place too much faith in that detective's testimony, you know. But for the sake of argument, let's say there wasn't a fight. Now then, did Mr. Rel get his hands on... How? Wait, how then did Mr. Rel get his hands on the knife?
Mr. Faraday's bag was sitting right here in lobby number 2. It's not hard to imagine that perhaps Mr. Rel saw a chance and took it out at some point.
So, what you're saying is this. Mr. Rel took a chance when he saw the opportunity and took the knives from the bag, and then Mr. Faraday shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed?
Isn't there something strange in Francesca's statement just now?
Because Mr. Faraday died immediately, so...
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait. Something doesn't add up.
Oh, really?
So, it's possible for Mr. Faraday to have shot Mr. Rel after being stabbed.
Because he died instantly.
Do we have... We don't have the autopsy report here, so how can I say that he died instantly? Is it on the crime scene notes? Do I have...
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, well, those are remarks about the bot. Well, let's see. Very the cause instantaneous death.
Yep.
There we go.
Haha!
According to the coroner's report, Mr. Faraday died instantaneously, meaning that he died immediately upon being stabbed by the knife. Ergo, he could not possibly have fired the gun after that.
Ooh, you got me.
But of course.
Well then, if the report is correct, since there's only one correct explanation. If we suppose that Mr. Rell attacked first, then Mr. Faraday, who died instantaneously, would have been unable to kill Mr. Rell. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have stabbed Mr. Faraday after he was shot, since they both died. That is the only explanation that makes logical sense.
Negating your opponent's ideas in order to prove your own theory. I see you've been studying, Francesca.
I just wanted to explain it to you as simply as possible, before you foolishly propose a foolish theory that only a foolish fool like you could.
Ah, there you go again. Haven't missed that. How naive of you to believe that only your opinions are valid.
I want to think fool was her first word.
Yeah. And still expect to discover the truth that the crime scene offers you. Francesca, you've still got a ways to go.
And what are you talking about? Are you saying there's a flaw in my logic?
Mr. Faraday died instantly. And the fact that he did is what gives rise to the contradiction in this scene. Contradiction crime scene here is, I mean, I've been saying for
the order of the bodies fell. We can finally
fell.
say it now.
Let me get this straight. What you were arguing is this. Mr. Faraday took the gun from his evidence bag and shot Mr. Rell. Then the wounded Mr. Rell found an opportunity to take the knife and strike back. Upon being stabbed, Mr. Faraday died on the spot and Mr. Rell died thereafter. If that's the case, then how do you explain this?
Mr. Faraday would be on the bottom.
Take a good look at the order in which their bodies are piled.
No!
Mr. Faraday's body is lying on top of Mr. Rell's. Therefore, Mr. Rell must have died before Mr. Faraday.
Impossible!
Yes, I agree that this seems strange no matter what angle you approach it from.
Yeah.
Which means that the real mystery behind this crime scene we must solve is...
There she goes.
No, not so fast, Miles
Oh, what now?
I simply think that you ought to think a bit more outside the box. And that it's even clearer now that the incident started with Mr. Faraday's murderous intent.
She sure bounced back
Sounded
quickly.
like Kay for a second there.
Yeah.
Murderous intent! I miss my girl.
An explanation won't be enough this time. It's going to take some very decisive evidence to prove her wrong.
To shoot her wrong. Jesus.
Don't shoot her. No one shoot her. I think it's because
we must protect.
My brain's having
I have too many girls. She's my girl. Kay's my girl.
It's okay. I think I said that because of the fact that I'm thinking that maybe there's a small possibility that someone shot through the window to hit Mr. Rell, but I don't know how that would correspond with Faraday getting stabbed and dying instantly. But the window has to do with something because that has become a proven point. Because we have it as logic, so we need something to do with that window, but I don't know what.
Her floof looks like marshmallow fluff.
Oh my goodness.
I can't stop looking at her. She's so precious.
It was just chance that Mr. Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. The two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time. Really doesn't matter in the slightest that they fell in the opposite order. Or does it?
I just know that Francesca's explanation isn't absolutely correct. All I have to do is find a hole in her logic. What to do, I can then present her with the evidence that proves the contradiction. Alright, let's see what you said here again. So it was just chance that Miss Faraday's body fell on top of Mr. Rell's. Two bodies fell into a pile, which indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
I wonder if she even knows how to ride a horse.
I don't know. What do you mean by they attacked each other at the same time?
I could see her riding, horseback riding in the countryside.
Yeah.
I assume Mr. Faraday has the two different weapons in his hands. He made to attack Mr. Rell while holding both the knife and revolver, and then, after Mr. Faraday fired the gun, Mr. Rell grabs the knife as he was falling and stabbed Mr. Faraday. That is how Mr. Rell wound up on the bottom with Mr. Faraday on top. At close range, that is more than possible.
Yes, it's possible, but...
Well, if you have any other ideas, then show me what you've got.
Show me what you got. Oh, I will. To that extent, I'd like for you to append what you just said to your testimony.
I don't see any point to that, but as you please.
Okay, so that fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time from close to... there's no...
That fact indicates that they attacked each other at the same time.
It was fired from a few yards
close
away.
Range.
Take that! Haven't done that in a while.
No.
So you believe they killed each other at close range? Sorry, but that's impossible. Just as is written in the crime scene notes, the firing of the handgun did not leave a gunpowder burn on Mr. Rell's clothes. Therefore, Mr. Rell and the gun must have been separated by a distance of at least 2 to 3 yards.
Ah!
Yes, this is by far the biggest contradiction.
Ooh.
Two bodies are piled up on each other, yet the gun was fired from a distance.
Fired from a distance.
And that also helps put the point together of being shot through the window.
I'll be dead someday.
And with there being no chance
I go to court.
that Mr. Rell moved that far after being shot, leaves only one possible explanation.
What a completely foolish line of foolish thought from a thoroughly foolish fool. If I'm not right. Then who was it that made the first move with the intent to kill, huh? Who?
The person that attacked first with murderous intent, that would be...
Ooh.
neither man.
Neither man.
I'm going balls to the wall on my theory. Here in this room. Contradictions appear no matter which man we claim attacked first. Thus, there can only be one explanation. There was a third person here.
Ba, ba, ba.
And on that bombshell, we'll have to wait for next time.
Oh.
Someone shot through a window. I just know it.
There's a third person, a squirrel.
It was a squirrel. Do you know what else is 2 to 3 yards away?
The plant.
The plant. It all comes full circle.